Dear grade 12 students, welcome to today's English lesson, and we're doing reading 1B, part 1. There are two objectives to consider today. The first one has to do with identifying the intended readers for 4 texts, while the second one has to do with responding to 8 true, false, or not mentioned questions. This is exercise A, page 14. Before you read the text, I want you to take some time, read the question and answer. Please pause the video now. Well, what is the meaning of this word? Architectural. Excellent. It is derived from architecture, and architecture is the art and science of designing buildings. So this question is asking you if culture has an effect on the way buildings are designed. What do you think? Is there a relation between culture and designing buildings? Yes, there is surely a relation between these, and culture has an effect on the way buildings are designed. I want you to think about Islamic culture. One feature of Islamic culture is the 8-pointed star. And if you look around and watch Islamic art and Islamic buildings, you will always find the 8-pointed star. We are still working on exercise A, page 14. This is question 2. Please have some time to read and answer. Pause the video now. Well, the question is asking you to name some buildings in Qatar in which the Qatari culture is reflected. Can you think of any? Well, this is the Doha Tower, and the Doha Tower features some Mashrabiyya screens, and these screens are considered to be a feature of the Qatari culture. Now I want you to open your books, page 14. Have a quick look at the 4 texts and decide on the type of each. Please pause the video now to answer. Well, what type of text is text A? We've got 2 persons talking to one another. So, text A is excellent. It is a dialogue. What about text B? Is it an email? Is it a letter? No, it is a card. We've got a picture, an address, and this makes text B. Well done. It is a postcard. How about text C? We came to discuss this type of text before, and it is an article. And finally, text D. What do you think? We've got to, from, subject, and this makes text D and email. Great job. Moving on to exercise B, page 14. I want you to go through the 4 texts really quickly and decide who the intended reader, who the audience is for each of the texts. And by intended reader we mean who will be receiving, who will be reading, who will be listening to each of these? Please pause the video now to answer. Well, which of the 4 texts is meant to be sent to a friend? Any ideas? Excellent. It is text B. The postcard is to be read by a friend. How about a supervisor? Which of the texts will be read by a supervisor, someone who's in charge of a group of people? Any ideas? Wonderful. It is text D. The email is meant to be read by a supervisor. Which of the texts will be listened to by radio listeners? Any ideas? Yes, it is text A, the dialogue. And finally, which text is for magazine readers? It is surely the article, text C. Go through text A really quickly to fill in the table with suitable information. Pause the video now. Well, text A is a dialogue, as you know, and the guest is Gray Kalvik, and his father insisted on making other people know about igloo building too. Yes, to keep the tradition of building igloos. Igloos are good for the environment because, yes, any ideas? Well, they are good for the environment because they are built out of snow, and snow is not harmful to the environment. Igloos are warmer inside than the weather outside, and this is because their insulating properties. And by insulating we mean they stop the cold from getting inside the igloo. Now I want you to go through text B really quickly to answer these questions. Pause the video now. Well, who is sending the postcard? Dana is, and she's sending it to her friend Aisha. Aisha lives in New York, and Dana is in Tanzania right now. How does she feel about where she is? She is excited, thrilled, happy, and this appears in her words. It is amazing here. Super cool resort. Now I want you to go through text C really quickly to fill in the table with suitable information. Pause the video now. Well, as you remember, text C is an article about low-lying coastal areas, areas that are near to the sea or the ocean, and the danger they are facing is, well done, the danger is rising sea levels. The Netherlands is worried because, yes, 2/3 of its people live below sea level. What solution did they think of? They thought of building an eco-friendly suburb that is environmentally friendly and is called Edgeburg. How can you describe Edgeburg? Yes, it is eco-friendly. Again, it is environmentally friendly, and it is adaptable to the different weather conditions. so it can react to the different changes from changing sea levels and changing weather conditions. Now I want you to go through text D really quickly to answer the following questions. Pause the video now. Well, as you know, text D is an email, and the purpose of this email, the reason for writing this email is to serve as a report, to give information about the outline of the resort. The docks will provide easy access by boat. The main living areas will have a see-through glass floor and skylights. The skylights will allow natural light in and will enable guests to enjoy the night sky. Moving on to exercise C, page 15. We've got a number of statements and you need to decide whether they are true, false, or not mentioned. You're to choose true if the information is in the text and it is correct. You're to choose false if the information is incorrect. You're to choose not mentioned if the information is not there in the text at all. Remember, you're looking for meaning, not identical wording. Please pause the video now to answer the questions. This is question 1, and it goes, more people are capable of building igloos than ever before. So what do you think? I will help you if you consider this part. So what do you think? Is it true, false, or not mentioned? There aren't many people who know how to. So in here we have more people, and in here there aren't many people. So the piece of information is mentioned in the passage, but it is wrong. So true, false, not mentioned? Yes. Excellent. It is false. Moving on to question 2. The building material for igloos is freely available. What do you think? Okay, let's consider this part from the text. And we have, they are built out of snow. The building material, and now we understand that it is snow. And in here we have freely available, and here we have there is certainly no shortage, so it is available and we can find it in big amounts. So this makes this statement, yes, wonderful, it is true. Moving on to question 3, you can see a wider variety of wildlife at treetops than on a traditional safari. This is text B. What do you think? Okay, let's consider this part. We should have something that means a wider variety, maybe more animals, more plants. And we should find traditional safari or anything that has the same meaning, but there is no mentioning of any of these, and this makes statement 3. What do you think? Yes, it is not mentioned. Well done. Moving on to question 4. And it goes like, treetops was designed to be in harmony with nature. Do you know the meaning of in harmony with? Okay, It means suitable together, not harming one another. So treetops is not causing nature any harm. So what do you think? Let's read this part. I guess the idea was that if you built up in the trees, you wouldn't disturb, you wouldn't interrupt all the amazing wildlife below. So nature, wildlife. In harmony, wouldn't disturb, you wouldn't interrupt. They are suitable together. And this makes this statement wonderful. It is true. So this statement carries the same meaning as the description we have in here. This is question 5, and it has to do with text C. It goes like, most people in Amsterdam want to live in floating houses. And if you read text C, you won't find anything that has the same meaning as this statement. So this statement is excellent. It is not mentioned. Moving on to question 6. Homes in Edgeburg have been designed to adapt to the outside world. Let's consider this part in here. What do you think? Designed to react to changes in sea levels and weather conditions. We've got designed, adapt to, react to, the same meaning. Outside world, and this is changes in sea levels and changes in weather conditions. So this statement is, yes, wonderful. It is true. This is question 7. Each bungalow at Gold Island Resort will only be accessible by boat. What do you think? Well, let's read this part. The construction of a pier extending from the southwest edge of the resort. We also suggest that each bungalow have its own private boat dock. So we've got 2 ways to access the bungalow. And this makes statement 7, yes, excellent. It is false. Moving on to question 8, and it goes like, the viewing floors in the bungalows will be under the surface of the water. Okay, let's consider this part in here. And the main floor just 1 meter above the water. So in here we've got under the water, and in here we have above, over. And this makes statement 8 false. Well done. After this lesson, you should know how to recognize the type of text, and you should also know how to pick out relevant evidence from the text that justifies your response to the true, false, or not mentioned question. This is the end of today's lesson. Thanks for watching, and remember, this video will always be available for you to watch on Microsoft Teams at any time.